Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another Mookie's Med episode, and I know I've skipped how to study for step 1 and a couple of the other videos that I wanted to do, but since a lot of my classmates and friends are actually going through this right now and information is really up in the air, I wanted to make this video because I think it'll be helpful, because I know when I was going through this I had to ask all kinds of people to get information. There wasn't really a run through of what I needed to do after finishing my 3rd year of rotation. So hopefully you'll find this video interesting and informational, and if you have any questions, make sure to reach out to me on all my social media, leave a comment down below, or you can send me an email. You can find that in my Instagram bio, and I will be sure to help you out in whatever way I can. I know it's a rough journey, and it really doesn't have to be that hard when you have things like this to help you along the way, to make it just a little bit easier. So basically what happens after you finish your core rotations is that you have to get ready for your board exams. And for the school that I went to, it might be different for other schools, but I'm a Caribbean medical student. We have to go through a certain amount of steps and a procedure to be able to take our step 2 CK exam. So the number one thing that you have to do after you finish your last rotation, obviously, is to pass your last shelf exam. Once you get that result back, you need to actually get ready for what's called the CCSC, or Comp Part 2, which is what I like to call it. If you have watched my Comp Part 1 video, this is a little different kind of a test. The main study material is still going to be the same. You're kind of in a better boat right now because you've had to study for all your shelf exams for all the core rotations that you've done so far. So you're a step ahead of the game than maybe you were for Comp Part 1. So that's a good sign. After you're done with your core rotations, you need to come up with a study plan, and school will send you a template. And if not, I like to make my own template, obviously, because it's easier to follow. But come up with a study plan where you put in tentative dates of when you want to take everything, and also fill out all the informational forms that the school has sent you. I think that there's a career planning form and then a rotations, an elective rotation form. So fill all of that out and send that in, and that's step number 1. Step number 2 is to decide when you want to take the CCSC. So on our paperwork, it says they suggest around 5 weeks after you take your last shelf exam is when you should probably schedule your CCSC. And I didn't know any better, but you can technically take a really long time to take that. So if you don't feel like you're ready in 5 weeks, then don't feel forced to take it in 5 weeks. Just a personal piece of advice, don't wait too long, because you don't want to forget the fresh information that's in your head from completing the rotations already. So I personally took 5 weeks, and I was able to do it. I passed CCSC in 5 weeks. I'll share with you what I did to be able to do that. When I first signed up for this test, a lot of people were telling me, like, why did you sign up so quick? You should have taken more time. But I honestly didn't know, and I thought that 5 weeks was what we needed to take, and that's why I took it. And I was freaking out along the way because I didn't know if that was enough time. So what I did first, and don't do this if you don't know when you want to take it. A lot of people study, and then when they realize that they know when they want to take CCSC is when they email the school. To be able to get your date for the CCSC or comp exam, you probably have to email your school and let them know that you request a testing period. Whatever works for your school, do that. I'm sure that they need to be the ones to schedule it, so you have to be in touch with them. So make sure you email them and you tell them when you want to take your CCSC exam. Once you tell them that, they'll get back to you and they'll schedule that for you, and they'll give you a testing period, and subsequently they'll send you an email with a scheduling permit. Just like you sign up for all your shelf exams, you do the same thing for CCSC. That's out of the picture. You have your date. That's always a relieving factor for me, to know and see on the calendar that I have a date that's approaching. So once that's out of the way, you start with your studying. And what I did for my 5-week plan was UWorld, and UWorld. I've been through UWorld once for core rotations and all the shelves. So this was my 2nd time going through UWorld. I swear by it, and to be honest, I think it's the only thing that you need if you do it completely and you really pay attention to the explanations and what you're getting wrong and everything like that. But if that's not enough for you and you have tried reading Master the Boards or Step Up to Medicine and none of those books work, P.S. everyone thinks that those books are like amazing for step and all step 2 CK related exams, but I could never get through them because I don't know, it was just boring for me. I like to read things that go fast and are in story format. So this is the book that I used. USMLE Step 2 Secrets. It's really, it's short. It's a quick read. You can honestly finish that in 2 days if you wanted to, but I did it piece by piece. And yeah, that was the only other book that I used for my CCSC preparation. So I did all of UWorld. To be honest, I did not get through all of it second time around. I think I had around 300 questions remaining right before CCSE. But I did create a UWorld journal. And if you've seen my my previous video of how to study for comp, it's the same kind of thing. I made a whole bunch of tabs, a OBGYN section, a endocrinology section, cardiology section. I just went by sections, and whatever question I got wrong for the subsequent section, I would write down the notes from UWorld that I highlighted and I read through and just kept that there as my own personal high yield set of notes. This is a really good method to use because it targets your weak points. It's not anyone else's. It doesn't include everything. It doesn't include what you're already good at. It specifically includes the things that you need to work on. So especially when it comes down to the last couple of days before your exam, this is key. This will really come in handy. And so creating a UWorld journal, if it's handwritten, if you prefer that, then do that. But for me, I like to see it typed because I like to divide it up and highlight and things like that. So create a UWorld journal, do UWorld. That is your plan. That is your base and foundation for CCSE studying. In terms of other resources, Online MedEd is a really, really good resource that I've used throughout my core rotation studying. And to be honest, I did not have enough time to go through everything that I wanted to go through for CCSC with Online MedEd. So I took a assessment, an NBME, which you pay for online, before my CCSE, I think about like 3 weeks before or like 2 weeks before. And then I kind of gauged what my weak subjects were and what my strong subjects were. So whichever subjects that I was really weak at, I made sure to go through the Online MedEd videos for that. I would speed it up to double the speed and just watch it. I didn't take notes. I just read the subsequent section in USMLE Step 2 Secrets and watched the Online MedEd videos. And that was basically it. It was UWorld, like I said, Step Up, USMLE Step 2 Secrets, and a little bit of Online MedEd. I was freaking out before my exam. I didn't think that just because, you know, everyone was telling me that, you know, you're taking a really short amount of time to study for this exam. Everyone else is taking a really long time. I was freaking out. So I knew that I wanted to take a longer amount of time to study for Step 2 CK afterwards. So that's why I kind of just wanted to take CCSC. And I had surgery and internal medicine last for my core rotations, and I knew that information was fresh in my mind. So I didn't want to lose that. So then you have your scheduling permit and everything. You go in just like you're taking a shelf exam. It's the same format, but it's 4 blocks, 46 questions each, an hour and some each, I can't remember, but there's no breaks in between. So basically be ready to sit for 4 hours straight without breaks. It might be TMI, but I needed to pee during my exam, and I think that kind of slowed me down and helped and didn't make me perform as well as I needed to perform. So make sure when you're practicing at home, you practice 4 blocks at a time so that you're used to sitting down for that amount of time. Unlike Step 2 CK, you do not have a break period that you can divvy up between your exams. So whatever you do, if you're good at finishing blocks on time, then you'll probably have extra time within the block to go and use the restroom. But you know, protocol in the Prometric Center is like really strict, and you have to sign in and fingerprint and get checked, and so you don't want to have to risk that on test day. So make sure that you are ready and prepared to sit for 4 hours straight. If you drink coffee in the morning, drink it, but make sure that you're not gonna like pee extra or anything like that. test day came and I went in with the mentality as whatever happens, happens. I studied to the best of my ability. I basically studied 6 to 7 hours on the weekdays every day and took weekends off. Towards the end, I actually worked on weekends, which I never do. I always take my weekends off, but I would do half days on the weekends. And so I knew that I tried my best, and whatever happens, happens. So I sat down and I took the test. To be honest, that outset, that mindset worked well for me because I wasn't as antsy as I usually am for the exam, and I just took it just straight. And afterwards, I felt as if the exam felt like a shelf exam. It didn't feel like step one. It didn't feel like UWorld. It was strange, but it wasn't impossible. I guess it was a very, very hard but fair exam. I felt bad about it. I always feel bad about my exams afterwards because with standardized testing, it's really hard to tell. So I don't know. I just took it. And for our school, passing is a 78%, which is kind of very high. Our first passing was a 68%. So I was kind of scared by that number when I went in to take CCSE. But you actually get your results back on the after the last day of your testing period. So if your testing period is between Wednesday of one week to Tuesday the next week, then you'll probably find out that not that Tuesday, but the week of that Tuesday. So that's when you find out. And I luckily planned my tests so that I didn't have to wait for a very long time after taking it to get my results, which is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. So you get your results in the mail, and I believe the school sends you an email saying if you've passed or not, and it'll give you your score. So after that is when you have to start, after passing, which you all will. It's really not, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Then you have to begin your whole step 2 CK studying experience. And that will be in another video, but hopefully this helps with your CCSC questions. If you have any questions for me in terms of specific subjects or anything like that, test day, what I did, or anything of that sort, then make sure to leave a comment down below or contact me on all of my social media. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a very good day, very good week, and happy studying. Good luck. Bye.